The Andy Griffith Show.
One of the most popular television shows of 1963 was set in North Carolina, in the fictional town of Mayberry.
North Carolina always saw itself as a network of small communities ruled by the Andy Taylors of the world.
What in the world are you all trying to do?
Small town local notables who behaved more like the justice of the peace than the sheriff. There's always a peaceful resolution to what could be volatile conflict.
You're congregating unlawfully.
Mayberry is a town that has no racial issues. Black people walk around and are part of the community, but they never speak up and disrupt. That's what North Carolinians saw as the kind of race relations they wanted.
That's what I'm here for.
You're sorted and you're identified, but don't rattle that system.
In the 1960s, however, the world of Mayberry was slipping away. North Carolina had become the shining light of what was called the New South, a region that was growing and moving out of the shadow of its tense racial past. State leaders navigated a middle path through the changing racial landscape. They called it the North Carolina Way.
This was a sense that North Carolina is a place that, through the goodwill of its people, is going to be willing to gradually change and transform its system of race relations. Not that there would be a law passed and the change would have to happen tomorrow.
Gradual change wasn't acceptable to staunch segregationists or civil rights activists. And as the 1960s progressed, blacks intensified their demands for equality.
So in North Carolina, you knew if you were a white citizen who wanted to maintain segregation, you couldn't count on your political leadership. And so the Klan steps in and says, we are the only organization that will support white people in North Carolina.
In the summer of 1964, people of all ages gathered in cow pastures and cornfields.
For many of these people, it was a family gathering, a source of entertainment, a night out. There would be music playing.
They'd sell hot dogs. They would raffle off ponies. They'd cook a pig. Most rallies might only have 20 Klansmen, but they could have hundreds or thousands of people that were there watching and supporting.
So for some people, these would be at events like county fairs. Men who might join the Klan would come out with their wives, their kids, their friends. And this was seen as a social event as well as a political event and spectacle. If you think about you're living in a small town in rural North Carolina and people come up and post flyers, there's going to be a Klan rally down the road here on Friday night. There's going to be a band playing. There's going to be preaching. We're going to rail against Lyndon Johnson. We're going to burn a 60-foot cross. I mean, that's an attraction to people in a small town. There's not that much going on, right?
As darkness fell, the tone of the rallies darkened as well. The band gave way to speakers.
Speaker of the evening, we'd like to bring up this little lady that spoke all over the state, Little Jones, Ladies EC of Unit 1. Give her a hand if you will.
We need good women that's ready, willing, and able to stand up not only for their children, but all the children in America. They told me that my daughter had to sit in a classroom surrounded by Negroes. But let me tell you, my child is not sitting surrounded by Negroes, and she will not be the next time you ask, until they put this 100 pounds 6 feet under. You can better believe that I'll be up fighting for my child. I'll never give up. How about you? Thank you.
Klan chaplain George Dorset took the microphone next.
Let me tell you from the platform tonight that Big Daddy-O and his cheap, sinful integration plan will never overcome. Hear me tonight. Hear me. The prophets in the Bible has called integration transgression, abomination, evil.
Klan rallies in the 60s looked just like tent revivals of the 1930s. Just as the old tent revivalist had helped you gird up your loins against the devil, the Klan just reinvented the devil.
Upon your hearts, your conscience.
Dorset's fire and brimstone style electrified the crowd.
It's expressing many of the same ideas they have. It may not be acceptable in their community to be so overtly racist, but to hear Dorset being overtly racist, he's a stand-in for them. He's saying things they think, but they can't say.
A popular hymn, The Old Rugged Cross, announced each rally's dramatic conclusion. The lighting of a wooden cross wrapped in burlap and soaked with gasoline. Bathed in its warm glow, members and supporters shared a sense of holy mission.
Jones was offering a chance to be above somebody else, to be better than somebody else. Nobody else was taking this approach to talking to people. They were people just like he was, who had grown up poor, low skills, low pay, little education, and not much hope of ever bettering themselves. And he convinced them that if they somehow became Klan members and stuck together, that they could better themselves and keep other people from getting in their way.